Yo, YouTube, what's crackin' like a jacket smacking? It's Wolfman for video, and today we are here to grade the New York Knicks off season. It's that time of day again of the year, and pretty much the New York Knicks off season is pretty much done. I mean, we don't have any more cap unless we sign Derek Williams, which I think is going to be unlikely anyways because he kind of wants a lot more money than what the Knicks can offer. The Knicks have basically all their pieces. And unless the Knicks do another trade or something like that, their offseason is over. Sure, there's free agents like J.R. Smith still out there. LeBron James is still taking his time, of course, on vacation, taking his time. But the Knicks are over. They just held their press conference, 1 hour press conference on MSG, showing the free agents Brandon Jennings, Courtney Lee, and Joakim Noah. But it's time to grade the Knicks, man. And I'm going to give Phil Jackson a B. A flat out B, not a B plus, not a B minus. Because there's a lot of ifs to what happened to the Knicks this season. I mean, if Joakim Noah is healthy, if Derrick Rose is healthy, if his knees don't blow out, if Brandon Jennings can play a couple games this season. A lot of ifs, and he signed a couple of players in the summer league, and from a future or a past draft, he signed Willie Herman Gomez. He signed Marshall Plumlee. He signed this kid from Lithuania, Mendiskus, Kosminkis, if that's how you say his name. And you know, Willie's the guy that was dancing in Porzingis in that video. So they already played with each other. So they already have a little bit of chemistry. Also signed Courtney Lee. So overall, a B is pretty solid, man. If the Knicks didn't get rid of Jose Calderon and just signed Joakim Noah, then I probably would have given Phil Jackson like a C plus. But overall, Phil Jackson did a pretty good job setting up the future. Of course, he doesn't get an A because he would have only got an A for me if he signed a player like Kevin Durant or Dwayne Wade. To me, that's an A caliber free agent right there. That's an A caliber free agent signing. You add that to Carmelo Anthony and Porzingis, and that's great, man. But I'm gonna explain you the great things about Phil Jackson, what he did in the offseason. So the first move he made was signing, you don't remember this, signing Jeff Hornacek. Finally, the Knicks have a coach. Jeff Hornacek won Player of the Month back 2 years ago. He coached the Phoenix Suns teams in a loaded Western Conference to about 50 games. And ever since then, the Suns are just, first of all, Suns, I don't know what the hell they're doing over there, but they just gave this guy a bad rap. Another guy that got in a bad rap. I think he's going to come in, change the culture. It's not going to be, you know, the basic triangle format. I think it's going to run sort of a hybrid triangle. So it's going to be interesting. And Carmelo Anthony, Porzingis, them guys, they were kind of running the triangle pretty good last season. Next thing he did was trade Jose Calderon and Robin Lopez. Now, a lot of people didn't like the Robin Lopez signing from last year. I said it was a pretty good signing because of his contract and how the salary is going to keep going up. And as you guys know how much I hated Jose Calderon. Whoa, man. His defense was unbelievably terrible. I was looking for any other player but Calderon. Give me any point guard. Give me Jordan Clarkson. Give me anybody. Mike Conley. But then Mike Conley signed that huge deal. So I'm kind of glad the Knicks didn't get Mike Conley because I don't think he's worth that much, man. $153 million for Mike Conley? Nah, man. See you later, Mike Conley. You can stay as a Grizzly. But those moves were pivotal, man. That Derrick Rose trade was a huge trade. Not only because he could maybe come back and play a good season. Because this is his contract year. So he's going to have motivation to be playing well. He's already working out and stuff like that. And the Knicks got Justin Holiday, cheap contract, could be a good bench player. And we also got a second round pick from the Chicago Bulls. So I don't know what the Bulls are doing giving us a draft pick, but thanks for the draft pick, Bulls. And it's good that the Knicks didn't actually trade a draft pick because I'm tired of the Knicks trading draft picks. We actually have a first round draft pick next season and a second round draft pick. So if anything goes bad and this turns out to be a failure, we're going to still have Carmelo Anthony, Porzingis, and our first round draft pick. But we're aiming to be a top 5, top 6 team next season. So that draft pick shouldn't be even worth that much. But next thing Phil Jackson did, signed Joakim Noah, 4-year deal. Now I didn't like 4 years. Maybe a 3-year or 2-year deal would have been better. But 4 years. The contract's salary's gonna keep going up, so it's not that bad. Joakim Noah, I think, is a player who's gonna come in. He was an all-star player about 2 seasons ago, defensive player of the year, just a couple of seasons ago, man. Sure, he didn't play that much last season. He got injured, but again, another player who I think got a bad rap in the city with that system and the coach. And you know, Fred Hoiberg, man, Oh, not Fred Hoiberg, but Tom Thibodeau was killing players in Chicago. I mean, Jimmy Butler was getting minutes, Luol Deng. They were all getting killed by Tom Thibodeau. So, I think Joakim Noah is going to have a solid season. Rim protector, hustler like Tyson Chandler. If we can be Tyson Chandler back in the season where we have 50 games won, that is all we need from Joakim Noah. That is a solidified center right there. Gonna do all the dirty work for Porzingis. Porzingis to step out, hit them long shots, power forward. He doesn't have to worry about defending them big ass, strong ass centers or big ass big men, because Joakim Noah is there for the defensive purposes. Then after that, we got Courtney Lee, a guy who is gonna be great for his salary, man. He's a 3-and-D guy. Sure, a lot of people wanted to wait for Dwayne Wade, but Dwayne Wade got a massive contract. We don't know what Dwayne Wade is going to do this season, even though last season he's coming off of 19 points per game. But Courtney Lee's unselfish, man. He's an unselfish basketball player. You saw what he did in the playoffs. He plays defense, can score the basket, 9 points. He's not gonna ask for a lot, man. He's gonna play his role. He's a guy on the team. He knows his role. Another defensive guy that loves playing with Joakim Noah as well. They're already clicking together. So overall, those 3 moves right there in the starting lineup, Rose, Courtney Lee, Joakim Noah, great, man. Definitely better than last season where we had Aflalo. Oh my God, I can't stand Aflalo sometimes. All those plays where he was posting up, taking post shots like he's Carmelo Anthony. God, that's frustrating as hell, man. But Courtney Lee, I think, is going to be a very solid signing, especially for the next couple of years. Also a 4-year guaranteed deal, but the cap's going to keep going up. So when you look at these starting lineup moves, I think a lot of people have questions about how it's going to work together. Will Porzingis' shot, count go down? I don't think so, man. I mean, Carmelo Anthony was very passive last season. Well, not very passive, but he passed the ball. He had 4 assists last season. He led the team in rebounds, assists, and points. He was the only player in the NBA to do that, I believe. Yeah, the only player in the NBA to do that last season. But you might have to check it again. But bringing Derrick Rose on the team, some people think his shot count's gonna go down. I don't think so, man, because you gotta understand that Porzingis is probably gonna be in the starting lineup for about 7 minutes, 8 minutes, and then he's gonna be put on the bench. And then Carmelo Anthony and Derrick Rose are gonna be out there, or it's gonna be Carmelo Anthony and Porzingis out there. So they're not gonna all be playing at the same time. So I don't think it's gonna be a problem. But moving on to the bench, Brandon Jennings for 1 year, $5 million. I don't know how Phil Jackson did it, but that's a great signing, man. This dude, Brandon Jennings, 2 seasons ago, averaging 15 points, 16 points per game. He's still 26, 27 years old. He wants the ball. He wants to play in the Mecca. He has something to prove to all the fans out there. And again, another guy who's on a contract here. He wants to prove himself. He's motivated, and he's kind of healthy now. You know what I'm saying? It's like a while since he's been had that Achilles tendon tear, so he's gonna be looking pretty good, man. Ranking number 3, Brandon Jennings off the bench is huge, man, and he's accepting that role, so it's gonna be good to see that. Also on the bench, we re-signed Lance Thomas. This is a guy who wants to be in New York, a guy who had a pretty good season in the first half. After he got injured, he started shooting lower, but he still finished off shooting 40% from the field, 40% from 3-point range, which is what the Knicks need. 3-point shooters, people that can knock down their shots from outside, leaving better spacing on the floor for the system that Jeff Hornacek is trying to run. Also on the bench, we might have either Justin Holiday or Mendiscus Kuzminskas, and as you can see on the screen right now, I'm probably showing some of his highlights. He seems like a cool guy, man. I mean, I've never heard of him before, but it seems like someone that's maybe similar to Andre Karolinko, maybe Danilo Gallinari, someone who could knock the shot down, has some long reach, a long wingspan, 6'8", 6'9". Not sure if he's going to be playing that much defense, though. I mean, I don't know. Maybe you could get some blocks in there because of his long arms, get some poke ball steals, but I think he's going to be a fine addition to the bench. There's going to be a lot of scoring off that bench. But then we got at power forward and center, we might either have Marshall Plumlee or Willie Hermel Gomez, and those guys are big bodies, so they're big bodies, they're bruisers. I'm not sure if they're going to do a lot of scoring, but they do a lot of rebounding and dirty work stuff like Joakim Noah. So overall, B, man, that's a B team right there. I mean, the Knicks should be a top 6, top 5, hopefully top 4 seed team this year. If everything goes well, if everything meshes well together, I have big ambitions for this team, man. But also, you gotta think about what Phil Jackson is doing for the future, and that's why I give him a B. Because next year we're gonna have 30 million in cap space. If Derrick Rose doesn't work out, we're gonna have that 30 million anyways. But we have the possibilities of adding a marquee talent next year. Chris Paul's a free agent. Kevin Durant's gonna be a free agent. LeBron James is a free agent. Stephen Curry. Now all these players probably not gonna lead their teams like Kevin Durant and Stephen Curry. LeBron, unlikely, but players like Chris Paul. Blake Griffin's a free agent, even though we don't need Blake. But Chris Paul and Russell Westbrook especially are two people we have to target in case Derrick Rose, maybe Derrick Rose has an MVP type caliber season. That's the only way the Knicks, I can see the Knicks keeping him. But when you got players like Westbrook and Chris Paul out there, you add them to the Knicks, oh my goodness. It's going to be such a great, like, Phil Jackson's going to be regarded as a god. And Chris Paul is the type of guy you want because he's going to be passing the ball, setting people up. It could be Lob City with him and Joakim or him and Porzingis. It's going to be amazing. But anyways, YouTube, let me know what you think about the Knicks acquisitions in the offseason. And yeah, we're gonna keep talking about Knicks for the entire summer, man. And the Olympics are just right around the corner, so it's gonna be lit. Westbrook trade might happen imminently. But anyways, leave what you give Phil in the comment section. Leave a like for more. And I'm out for now. Stay tuned for all your Knicks news and all your Knicks stuff. And peace.